What is up, InterWebs? Big Lou here, along with Matt, the Cut Man, as always, classing it up a little bit.
Do we not have time for hair and makeup?
Hey, this is about as hairy makeup as we get.
All right.
We are here. The Final Problem, Sherlock, Season 4, Episode 3. What a run this was. It was what it was.
And it was quite something.
I definitely agree with that. I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I know I usually throw it to you right off the bat, but I'm going to take this one. I have a very much love-hate relationship with this episode. There was a lot about this episode that I really, really, really liked, and there was a lot about this episode that I had a lot of problems with.
Air out your grievances.
I'm going to save my grievances for just a little bit because I like to start off on a positive note. The execution of this episode was phenomenal.
Agreed.
The performances given by Benedict Cumberbatch and by Martin Freeman and by the chick that played Euros, San Brooke.
Yeah.
I hope I'm pronouncing her name right.
Not sure you are. I don't know how.
I don't know either because it's got the little dash above the eye.
Yeah.
So it's Cyan or Cyan or whatever it is. But whoever played Euros...
And Bob.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy Lee Jones. She was creepy as hell.
Oh, motherfucker. That's one of the notes that I had.
Yeah, but...
Did she blink? Because I'm not sure.
She may have had her eyelids removed for this episode, but the performances in this episode were phenomenal.
Yeah, very much.
The intensity of the little exercises that she was putting them through, like the saw-like puzzles that she was having them do.
The different rooms.
Yeah, it was so intense.
Indeed.
And the way that it was shot, and with the red light flashing, and with frickin' Andrew Scott Moriarty just going tick-tock, tick-tock,
Yeah,
tick-tock.
that'll fuck anyone up.
It was creepy as fuck, dude. It was so well done, so well executed. Just all around, just such a great frickin' execution of the storyline. Therein lies my biggest problem with this episode. How the fuck did she take over this high max security institution?
Right.
My biggest issue with this is that Sherlock Holmes is not a Marvel superhero. He's not a superhero. He's a super sleuth. He's a detective. Let the man solve the crimes. It's great that they're trying to elevate stuff and whatnot, but they're giving him and taking it to the point to me that it's almost superhuman expectations, and it's almost like it just. I had to really, really stretch my suspension of disbelief almost to the point where it took me out. It didn't take me out as I was watching it, but upon reflection, I was like, really? Oh, all right, I guess I buy it. But
See, I go along with what you're saying. My problem is I buy that she could have taken over the prison. Having a Newtonian level of genius in her, I buy that she could have coerced enough guards to have an insurrection, so to speak. I just wish they would have explained it. I wish they would have shown it. Same thing with the her conversation with Moriarty.
yeah,
I wish they would have shown her reprogramming him as she was said to do. That's what I really would have liked to see. That being said, I loved it.
I know.
Absolutely loved it.
Yes.
It was, to me, Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, they are true originalists, not even just to the Conan Doyle stories, but to, like, this was a tribute to Dionysus. This was a Greek tragedy.
Deep cuts, my friend. Holy crap.
That's absolutely...
Dude, you get a high five on that. Wow. Dionysus?
That's what it reminded me of, you know.
Yeah.
I'm calling back theater school.
Sure, no doubt.
But that's what it reminded me of, the entire thing. Even down to some of the subplots. The the phone call to Molly.
Oh my God.
Tell me that didn't break your heart.
Oh
into a
my
million
God.
pieces.
I mean,
I had to pause and wipe the tears away because damn, that was
I
hard.
needed to go do a shot
Oh yeah, that was harsh. It was
of like epinephrine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no the whole thing was a Greek tragedy.
yeah.
From really start to finish, in that they're really, even the villain at the end wasn't the villain. The antagonist turned down. You ended up hurting for them,
Of course.
because they indeed were the broken ones.
Yeah.
So
Broken, freaking Humpty Dumpty looks at her and go, "Damn, you in bad shape." But yeah, it goes back to the execution. That Molly scene it is so hard as an actor to listen. We talk like I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not an actor, but I know enough about movies. I watch enough behind the scenes to hear people talk about how difficult it is. Some of the most difficult scenes to film are solo scenes, monologue scenes, and stuff like that.
Sure.
The scene with Molly in her kitchen, she's not acting against anyone.
No, that's an empty room.
She's standing there on the phone, and the emotional place that she was able to get to as an actress.
yeah, what is she conjuring up in order to be at a broken stage?
Phenomenal job to be able to take us along that journey with her.
Louise something is her name.
Louise Brealey.
Yes.
I've got it on my list. Thank you, Noah. I don't know if you watched our show last week.
We assume you do.
Yes. Just in the other part of this that I will probably sit and rewatch repeatedly is the first 20 minutes of this episode. From the opening sequence where Sherlock and Watson are tormenting Mycroft to get him to admit that Euros exists, and when that clown showed up,
Oh boy.
I don't have an issue with clowns. I like clowns, but I know a lot of people. Yeah, I know you do. That clown was creepy as fuck, and he just hello.
Yeah, I got behind my couch. My dog was wondering what was going on.
Yes, I'm sure I could see Turkish there going. What are you doing back there, bro?
I thought we were sitting on the couch. What's going on?
Turkish like, I got this. But yeah, it was, and then when he's like, where am I supposed to go? And Watson's like, the place where people with nowhere else to go.
Baker Street.
221B Baker Street.
We hope you enjoy our props.
Yes.
Little thing called effort.
Production value, my friends. But yeah, and then when the little smirk on Watson and Sherlock's face when Mrs. Hudson says, "Would you like a cup of tea?" "Oh, yes, please. The kettle's over there." It was great.
That was a callback to, I don't know if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie, Snatch.
Oh, yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. And then that whole sequence when Mycroft's like, "It's a family matter," and that's why he stays, and just Watson's just like, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah.
So I mean, it just the chemistry that Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman have with each other as these two characters, that's why you watch this show, is for their...
Can I tell you why else you watch the show?
Sure.
James Moriarty. His introduction at I Want to Break Free.
I rewound that.
Outstanding.
I rewound that 3 times and watched
good.
it. I cracked up laughing.
I jumped up and cheered. Like I was watching a football game, I cheered.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, oh, shit, you're going to kill me.
I might.
Yes, frickin' Hammer. Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2. What's his fucking name? The green thing he's moving towards our boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yes, you do. From Moon. And help us out. What's his name? We can't think of his name.
I will look it up. But you go on.
Anyway, it reminded me of not the court scene, but when he's presenting all the ammo to
Don Cheadle's character.
Don Cheadle's character in Iron Man 2. That's what that reminded me of. I could easily have seen him doing that. But yeah, that when he gets off the thing and it's I Want to Break Free by Queen. It was friggin'
Sam Rockwell, by the way.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Gotta love him.
Can't believe I couldn't remember Sam Rockwell.
That's a tough name.
You pulled Dionysus and couldn't remember Sam Rockwell.
I wrote it down.
Oh, that's why. Okay. I'm going to write it down.
Write Sam Rockwell down.
Sam Rockwell.
2 L's.
There
you go.
Excellent. Forgot the E, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. What else about this episode either stands out that you liked, didn't like? What else you got? You got a bunch of stuff written down.
Yeah. The humor in the face of absolute danger.
Yes.
Just cracked me up. When they're looking at the coffin and and Holmes is deducing what he's deducing, and he's like, no, this is a much cheaper model. And Watson goes, a lonely night on Google. Yeah, just the humor in the face of death, it just will 100% of the time crack me up.
Yeah.
That will, every time.
Yeah. It never... Look up while I'm talking. Look up the textbook definition of MacGuffin, because I know what it is, but this entire series is just one giant MacGuffin about misdirection and what. Showing you one thing over here when really something else is going on. What is the exact definition of a MacGuffin when it refers to something in a film?
It's an object or device in a movie or book that serves merely as a trigger for the plot.
Yes. So, that being said, the little girl on the plane.
Yeah.
They got me.
Oh, yeah.
They got me right up until the time that Sherlock figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought for sure she is headed towards the London Eye.
Yeah.
And how is he going to figure this out, and how is he going to save John at the same time? You can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's like, okay, this is not going to end well for somebody. And at the same time, I'm looking at as a film guy, I'm looking at my watch. Going.
There's no watch there. Chevy Chase. Let me help you out.
Thanks, buddy.
I got a little thing.
Oh, hey, yeah, look at that.
Little thing.
How about that? I don't think they could see it.
Wow.
But whatever. Need a longer chain.
Well. There. Now we have 2 props.
Excellent.
It doesn't prop up. Fuck.
Whatever. A for effort. Anyway. I'm looking at the time remaining in the episode, and I'm like, they're not gonna. How are they gonna have enough time to save everybody they needed to be saved and still explain?
Wrap it up.
How not even wrap it up, but explain how they did what they did to get to the point where they were on the plane. Mm-hmm. It's like, how do you subdue all the people on the plane except for the one little girl? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when my wheels started turning. I was like, okay, there's more to the little girl on the plane than they just gassed everybody except for her, and this and that, and this and that. And then when he started asking her, what's your name again and again, I started like, okay, what's going on? But then they kept flashing this puzzle. It's that fucking MacGuffin. It was so good.
Can I be pedantic for one moment?
Of course.
The plane shouldn't have been dinging. The plane dings when the pilot presses the button and turns on the lavatory sign. And the pilots were out, and so it shouldn't be dinging. Even though the plane wasn't there, the pilots weren't there, and nobody was there, it shouldn't have been dinging.
Did it really bother you that much?
Oh boy.
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw this back at you. How's this one? Probably it was dinging because it was a figment of Euros' imagination.
I know.
And she'd probably never been on a plane, so she didn't know any better.
She's a Newtonian-level genius, and she should have known the plane shouldn't ding.
Newton had never been on a plane either.
Fuck! Sorry, I apologize. Again, pedantic.
It's your middle fucking name.
My middle name is Ross.
He was pedantic too. Anyway, did you or did you not, over under 40%, think that Mycroft was going to bite it in that scene when he had the gun on him?
Okay. I didn't think he was going to die in that moment. I thought Mycroft was going to die at some point, though, in the episode.
Did you really?
I did. I thought he was going to. There was going to be a situation where he would sacrifice himself for the greater good.
Really?
A little bit.
Okay. I really thought Sherlock was going to kill him. I thought it was going to be one of those moments where, kind of like in the first episode of this season, where.
Well, I mean, they referenced that.
Yeah, no. But like when Sherlock was running his mouth so much that the chick shot him.
Yeah, they referenced that.
Yeah. I thought that Mycroft was kind of doing that about John, and Sherlock was just going to be like, "Oh, shut up," and just shoot him. I thought that's what was going to happen, and I really thought Mark Gatiss was going to write himself off the show. But turns out, didn't happen. I like what they did with him turning the gun on himself, and it being, Sherlock going,
I'm not going to play your game.
I'm not playing your game anymore. It's like the game is on. Okay, my game is on now. And speaking of the game is on, that was the other thing that I kind of made a mental note about that I wanted to talk about. The whole thing about the game is on. I loved how that goes all the way back to his childhood and how she tried to get him to play the game with him.
Right.
And that has been kind of like his driving factor his whole life, and he didn't even realize it.
Right. Yeah, no, his subconscious rewrote his actual memory. And that was fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, goes back to, like, I could just picture, like, him in his mind palace reorganizing everything to kind of, like, bury Euros and whatnot.
Yeah, no, like, just him just, like, placing things. Here, move it over, and done. Okay, now things make sense. We can move forward.
Yeah.
I oddly relate to that.
Yeah. So
maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should see a psychologist.
I see somebody.
I gotta go.
Yeah. just as long as that psychologist's name is not, like Jack Daniels. So
don't judge me.
Never, my friend. Never dream of it.
I thought this was a safe place.
It is.
The safe tree in the house?
Yes, absolutely. So, lots about this episode that I really, really, really liked. They're just, like I said, a lot of glaring things about it that I just didn't quite buy, especially...
Just a little pedantic.
Yeah, a little bit of the stuff that was like, okay, so you're telling me that she was able to brainwash every single guard in that place.
And I buy that. I just wish they would have shown it.
See, had they shown it, I probably would have bought it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
I honestly think if this episode had taken place over the course of the season, I mean, this is not the kind of show that allows for that, but that's the kind of explanation that we needed.
Well,
that's the kind of in-depthness.
The other thing, too, is that when I first saw this on my TV Guide, it was slated for 2 hours.
You read TV Guide?
Not TV Guide, the book, the magazine. TV Guide on the display.
I see.
When I was looking at the guide on my...
make TV Guide? I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a thing.
Wouldn't be you if you didn't.
Go on.
The guide on my TV said that this was slated for 2 hours last night.
Right.
And I was like, oh, they made it a 2-hour episode. That's going to be awesome. Well, the first half hour was, a behind-the-scenes look at last week's episode.
Still enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, no, it was awesome, but there was a little bit of me that was like, oh, okay. It was still cool, but it was, I really feel that this episode could have benefited from at least an extra 15 minutes of, just a little bit more in depth, like the stuff with what did she and she and Moriarty talk about?
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah. Dive into that. I need a little more explanation, a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
of what was going on.
Yeah.
That being said, I still loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
Just more. I want more.
Yeah.
I'm selfish.
Moving from this, I read an article this morning about the Russia leaks that this leaked online in Russia on like Thursday afternoon or Friday morning or something like that, and it really the BBC's ratings were series low.
God damn it,
but
Russia.
yeah, because of that.
You're fucking everything up.
Yeah, no kidding. But and a lot of that probably has to do with it debuted in like 300 cinemas in the UK Sunday night, so that probably had a lot to do with it too. So we're waiting to see what the final ratings are going to be for it. But Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, who are both the head writers and the executive producers, have said that they have plans for a season 5, but nothing's been official greenlit yet and officially announced. If this, no, of course, do it.
Do it.
I could
do it.
I want to spend as much time with all these characters as possible. I just want them to bring it back down. I don't need to see them going to save the world anymore and doing all this over-the-top stuff. Just give me a good mystery that only Sherlock can solve, and let him work with Greg now that he can remember his fucking name. Lestrade, which was awesome, by the way. The look on Lestrade's face when he called him Greg at the end was awesome. Just let them be, like Mary was saying in that video, let him be the Baker Street Boys.
Baker Street Boys.
And
band name.
And yeah, exactly. So what about you? Or do you, if this was the last episode of Sherlock that we get, would you be okay with that?
This, if it were the series finale, it served as a damn fine one, because it did wrap a lot of things up.
I agree.
But I still want to see more, because I think these are two of the finest actors doing some of the greatest characters of all time, with some of the absolute best writers.
I could not agree with you more. Springboarding from this, I am definitely going to be going and trying to find some Doctor Who to watch now, because Stephen Moffat is one of the lead writers on Doctor Who, and I've heard all the time I need to watch Doctor Who from a lot of different people.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that is like, oh, you're not watching Doctor Who? What the nerd card?
Yeah,
please.
yeah. What's wrong with you? So I think that that may be one of the next series that maybe you and I can get into and do some review stuff on. So anyway, for this episode of the InterWebs Show, I am Big Lou. You can leave your comments of what you thought down in the comment section below. Any questions you may have, you could tweet them to us at The InterWebs Show. Find us on Facebook at The InterWebs Show. Oddly enough, that's kind of where we are, all over the place. And until next time, folks, we will see you on the interwebs.
Au revoir. It's French for goodbye.